All right, good afternoon. It's been a little while since I've done a video like this. Actually, come to think of it, it's quite a while since I've done anything like this. What I want to do here actually is show something that it's one of the reasons, actually, one of many things that I really like a lot about this game. I wanted to say something like one of the things that I really like most about this game, but there's just really so much to like about this simple and incredibly fun hockey game that is Mike Owens Quick Play Pro Hockey. Um, but this is one of the things that, especially for whatever reason, when I'm doing a game live, and I insist that when I'm off camera, I'm not going to say I'm 100% accurate with it. In fact, when I play these games, I know like Dave Gardner, he's been talking recently in videos. I think actually he might have got it from John Kay, shootout designer, about, you are the official scorer. And I really like that too. And I like to think of it as well as, like when you're watching an actual hockey game and officials are going to miss some calls here and there, usually only small ones. You'll be watching the game and you just go, well, that could have been a trip, or maybe that was a little offside, if a goal isn't scored and maybe they play on and we never know any better. Without the benefit of video review or whatever in that particular instant. But so, like an official, sometimes I'm going to miss some calls, but I never try to miss any, and I never miss a call that would benefit one team or another or anything like that. So, with that said, yeah, the close game factor. I guess one thing that I really like about it too is it sort of de-randomizes, if that's even a word, this competition here between teams. I mean, hockey is very random, but it's sort of like a clutch measure where certain teams, usually good ones, if they are a little better than the team that they're playing against, then they sort of get the benefit of the doubt in a close game. And how it works is, and I've got a few teams here. I'm going to demonstrate it in a few different ways, a few different scenarios. But so I have here from my Redemption League for a project that I'm currently doing with this game, the Montreal Canadiens from 1970 and the New York Rangers from 1972. Let's say that these teams are tied at two, or there's a one goal difference between the teams and score going into the third period, because this close game factor, if I didn't already say it up front, only applies to period three. You don't use this in the first period. You don't do it in the second period. I mean, I guess there's nothing stopping you. It isn't against the law or anything like that, but it's how it's written in the rules. And so it's sort of what's suggested, what's encouraged, what's guided in the guide of sorts. So again, let's say that these teams are tied or one or the other team is up by a goal. And there's a roll and there's a scoring chance. And to be honest, I haven't even worked out those particulars prior to this between these teams, because I don't really think that I need to. Um, let's say that the team rolls. Well, okay, so here Montreal has a close game factor of 9 and New York has a close game factor of 6. So let's say, for instance, Montreal, they're down by a goal, they're looking to tie the game, and they roll, let's say, a 3, right? Let's say they roll a 2 there, because I can arrive at that a little faster. So they roll a 2. What you would then do, because of their higher close game factor, 2 is a save, I should point out up front. 2 is a save. Hopefully that's visible enough. And actually, I meant to use this as a pointer, kind of patterning out. We'll see what happens. I'll do what's most comfortable here in the end. But Montreal has the higher close game factor of 3. So if they roll from an 11, the higher close game factor 9 minus 6, so the difference is 3. I meant to say a higher close game factor difference of 3. So if they roll from 11 to 46 in the follow-up roll, this save is actually converted into a goal. If the New York Rangers, on the other hand, let's say they roll a 2 and it's a save with an asterisk here for, period 3 close game factor, because they have the lower close game factor, this is automatically a save for them. And where this would affect the Rangers is, let's say that it's a tie game and the Rangers, they're looking to go up by 1. There are a few minutes to go and they're excited and they think they've potted the game winner. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's say they score, for instance, with a roll of an 8, let's just say. So this here is a goal with an asterisk. So in the Rangers' case, because they have the lower close game factor by 3, they would actually have to roll above a 46, right? So, and again, this is done on an 11 to 66 system. So let's say on their follow-up roll, they get a 62, that would be a goal. However, on the follow-up roll, let's say they get even like a 44, that's actually converted to a save for the higher close game factor Montreal Canadiens in this case. This might be an example that you'd consider to be a little more on the extreme end with a close game factor difference of 3, although I mean on this chart it allows all the way up to, well, really infinitely because they greater, but you get the idea. So let's try with a couple of different teams now. So kind of a different scenario. Hopefully I've explained it adequately so far. If not, keep listening and hopefully, surely I'll arrive at it at some point. So here you have the Canadians again. I'll just keep them on the road up against, and the road home thing actually doesn't matter for that. That matters prior to the game, and I have some videos where I talk about that, about factoring the home offense versus visitor defense and vice versa to get your and the normalization as well if the teams are in different years. But here the close game factor difference is only 1. So again, let's say Montreal, well, for instance, let's say Montreal gets an 8 in period 3. It's a goal with an asterisk. This is an automatic goal. Yes, this is one I've screwed up in a prior video and I'm aware of it. I just, I get, like now, I get a little anxiety when I'm talking on camera. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy doing this, but I do get a little nervy when I do this. Anyway, I kind of like that, though. To be honest with you, from time to time, I kind of like being in that state. It kind of keeps me on my toes. But personals aside, so again, Montreal with a higher close game factor of 1, that's automatically a goal. That roll of 8, and ditto for 11 or 12. That's just a goal for Montreal. Let's say that Montreal rolls a 3 on the follow-up there, because it's a straight 2 to 12. It's 11 to 66 to arrive at the scoring chance, and then 2-12 in the follow-up to see whether or not the team scored. So let's say they get a 3 this time. Okay, that's a save. This time their chances actually of scoring the goal to either tie or go up by 1, or if they're up by 1 to go up by a pair, are slimmer, because now they would have to roll a 36 or below here. From 11 to 36, it would have to be 36 or lower. So it really adds variety to the game. It really adds flavor to the game. It really adds that sort of clutch element to this hockey game that I really like. And again, let's talk about Buffalo. So vice versa, Buffalo, well, for their sake, if they score, if it's a save, it's automatically a save. Is still, even with the asterisk in period 3, because Montreal has the higher close game factor. However, if they roll a goal, so let's see, we get a roll here of not a 10. 10 is always a goal. You like those 4s, 5s, and 10s in period 3s. Then it's it's a goal automatically. But so this here roll of 11 for Buffalo. Because they have the lower close game factor by 1, right? 9 minus 8, so a difference of 1. They would actually have to roll this time above 36 to get a goal. So in the previous example, it was above 46 for New York. They really would only have a chance of, say, not 20 out of 66. 12 out of 36 to score. So they have like a 33% chance. Here, Buffalo has really a 50% chance, actually, of I'm just working that out on the fly, but of what am I trying to say here? Of actually the goal being a goal is what I'm trying to say here. So that goal will remain a goal should they roll above 36. If they roll below 36, or 36 or below, I should say, this is 11-2-36. So should they roll 36 or below, then it will mean that Buffalo, doesn't score. The goal will then be converted to a save. And I'll show a couple of other teams here, well, 2 other teams here actually, just to show an example for comparison's sake. So here, for the sake of comparison, we have the class of 75 here, well, part of it, because Philadelphia and Montreal would have been the other half of that class. But of the 4 dominant teams from that season, so the Los Angeles Kings, their close game factor is 8. The Buffalo Sabres, their close game factor is 8. I call this a really good game to play when I'm a little tired and I want to play some Mike Owens Quick Play Pro Hockey, because if these are identical, you can just ignore all of this and everything that I've already explained. But and of course, like with anything, I mean, I'm a big advocate of, and you'll hear it around the community, play the game you want to play the way you want to play it. But for this particular already wonderful game, if you want to add a little spice, a little variety to it, it's pretty cool. I've had some results of games altered and become even more dramatic, or maybe even the odd time less dramatic, as a result of using this close game factor. Or you played an entire 1946-47 NHL season using the close game factor, with this game. Yeah, I probably made a few mistakes here and there. They weren't captured on camera, and it's one of those things, and I've talked about this before. I think if you record every time that you play, you might be a little surprised at the number of errors where you were convinced that you'd rolled everything correctly. I think these things happen. We are prone to human error. So, um, anyway, that's here nor there. I just again, I wanted to. As I hinted at jokingly, actually, in at least a video or two from a little while ago, I needed to make a video like this for myself, maybe to remind myself from time to time how exactly the close game factor works, if for no other reason. So, I mean, it can benefit me. So if it benefits anybody else, that's great as well. That's just icing on the cake. And of course, icing is delicious. Anyway, if despite everything that I've explained here, I've done my best. I didn't really come into this with a script or anything like that. Just a few rough ideas that have been kicking around for a little while at how I would approach and, explain something like this. If you have any questions about this, you feel free to ask me either in a comment below, this video, or you can always email hockeyunreal@gmail.com as well. Don't feel like, other people might see this and think it's a stupid question. No, man. Send me an email. I'll get back to you, and do what I can to explain this. So anyway, I think that's really about all that, all the time that I really would need to give to actually this one factor of the game. But again, this makes an already excellent game, in my opinion, even that much more excellent. So anyway, have at it. Again, anytime, any consideration that you give to anything like this, while it's never expected, it's always appreciated. And cheers, thanks, bye for now.